Welcome, friends. In this video I'm going to talk about conditions and branching in Python. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the if statement. From the if statement, we're going to talk about nested if statement, and we're going to talk about multiple conditions for an if statement. Also, we're going to talk about the if-else statement and just the if statement. We're going to talk about indentation, and we're going to give an example of a program that uses if statements. Okay, so let's start by opening idle or your IDE for Python. I already created the program, so I'm just going to explain it to you as best as I can. Okay, so we're going to open it, and then we're going to, I have it saved on my desktop. It's called branching if statements. So I did this program on 7/19/24. My name is Virgilio Serna Choto, and the objective for this program is to write an example of a branching statement in a program. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe, that helps a lot, please. Okay, so in this example, we're given three variables, x, y, and z, and that variable holds integers. It could be odd or even integers, or a mix of them. And the purpose of this program is going to be to find the largest odd number among x, y, and z. Okay, so there are multiple ways of doing this program. My program is a little longer, but the way I did it is a little different, in the sense that I use mathematical expressions and computations to get to my answer, which is the largest odd number among the three variables. You can use other means of doing it, but I decided to use this one to show you a couple of things that we have learned in the past and things that are going to be new. So like I said, this program is going to be using if statement. So an if statement, you can see here, consists of the keyword if followed by a condition, and that condition is followed by a column, and then on the next line, indented, we have statements that are going to run based on the truth value of the if statement. So if the condition is true, we're going to run everything below the indentation. If the condition is false, we're going to go to the next next statement outside of the if. In this case it would be this one, this print statement. So this is the basic if statement. Sometimes you're gonna find an if statement together with an else keyword. What that means is that if the if condition is false, it's gonna default to the else statement. So if this is false, it's gonna go through here, and it's gonna run whatever is below the indentation. Once it finishes, it's gonna proceed to the outside of the whole if statement, which is this one. Okay, so let's keep in mind what we need to do. I just show you what an if statement looks like and what it's used for. So an if statement is used to test for a condition, and if that condition is true, it will do some calculations or procedures. If the condition is false, it will either default to the else statement, or it will keep to the next statement outside of the if else or the if. So it wouldn't run this part. Okay, so the main objective is to write an example of the branching of the if statement. Okay, now our task is to find the largest odd number among x, y, and z. So you can see here these two are odd numbers and this one is even. That means that, and which one is the largest of x and y is going to be this one. So our answer should be this number here, should be y. Okay, what do I do to find the largest odd number? The way that I created, because I wanted to show you a little mathematical things that you can use for your programs. In the first step, I'm going to use modulus of each. So x1, y1, and z1 corresponding to x, y, and z are going to hold the modulus of the x of each modulus 2. That means that I'm testing for evenness for each variable. So in Python, if you take the modulus 2 of integer, that means that I'm gonna write it here, modulus 2 equals 0. That means that it's even, and not 0 implies that it's odd. So I'm going to use the results of xy, y1, and z1 later here. Okay, the second step is to divide the original x, y, and z, my original numbers, by 2. But I only do it if my original numbers are even. I'm sorry, if they are odd. If they are even, I just assign to x1 and d, y1d, and c1d corresponding to x, y, and z. I assign 0 if it's even. So for example, if z is even, I'm gonna, by default it's gonna be 0, and I'm not going to divide by 2. Okay, so when I set not equal to 0, z1 not equal, remember z1 holds whether it's even or odd. If it's 0, that means that it's even. But here I'm testing, for example, for z1 I'm testing whether it's odd. So if it's odd, I'm gonna divide the z by 2, and I'm gonna assign it to z1d, and I'm doing the same thing for x1d and y1d. Okay, now this is the main chunk of the program, the final step. It's gonna be the main branching of the program. So it says that if x1 equals 0 and y1 equals 0 and z1, that means that I'm testing here. Here I hold whether it's even or odd. If it's 0, that means that it's even. If it's not 0, it's odd. So if all these numbers x, y, and z are even, then I cannot find the largest odd number. So what do? I just print all numbers are even, and I cannot find the largest odd. In the case that one of these ones is odd, then I can find the largest odd. And the way that I do it is as follows. Because I already know in advance, dividing by 2 means that the remainder, by dividing by 2 I mean whoever has the largest division, the largest result here from x1d, y1d, and z1d, from that one I take the maximum. So whoever has the maximum x1d, y1d, and z1d, that's the largest odd number. But I have to test correspondence. That means that if x1d is equal to the largest, that means I'm basically what I'm doing is I'm testing whether x1d is the largest, because x1d holds the division. That means that, or division or 0. That means that if it's odd, then that means that if it is the largest of the maximum, that means that that's the largest, that's the answer I'm looking for. And I test each one of them. I test y1d and z1d. I test all of them, the 3 of them. Basically I test x, y, and z. And then for each case I print the largest odd number is, and then I put the original number. And the reason why I put the original number is because I know that if this is true, if this condition is true, that means that x1d is corresponding to x. And for clarification, if y1d is the largest odd number, that means that y1d corresponds to y. Same thing for z. And then at the end I just say program ended running. Program ended running. That means, and I can put successfully. And I did this program on 7/19, but because I'm recording it today, I'm just gonna put 7/21. I'm gonna save it and run it. Remember, these are odd numbers and this is even, so that means that my largest odd number should be y, and let's see if that's the case. So we're gonna run it. Okay, so let me explain just one example. Okay, so the first 3 here, that means that those are the answers corresponding to x1, y1, and z1. If you look at it, this one, x, y, are not 0. That means that they are odd numbers. But the third one, which is z, is an even. That means that the modulus 2 is equal to 0. Now we go to the next chunk, x1d. This is where I perform the division. Because z is even, I just assign 0, so I don't do anything with it. But if it's odd, then I divide the original number, I divide it by 2. For example, 7 divided by 2 is 3. But I don't take the remainder, so I just leave it as 3. And the same thing with this one. 777 divided by 2 is this number. And of course, now doing the branching, the main branching, I get that the largest odd number is 777, which corresponds to y. So we have a potentially successful program. But we're gonna test other examples. For example, we're gonna put a, and we're gonna put this one as 8. That means that all of these numbers are even. That means that I should say, it should tell us that they're all even. I save my program, then I run my module. So like I said, now everything is 0. And why is it 0? Because they're all even numbers. That means that all numbers are even, cannot find the largest odd. Now let's put an an odd number, a really odd number. Save it, run it. See, the first number is odd, the other is even. 0 0 0 0. The largest odd number is this one, which is corresponding to my odd number. For the sake of it, let's make one more. Let's make it 5. So let's see now. Let's make it 9. Let's see if this will. And let's make it 27. So I believe they are all numbers, and the largest one should be these ones, but I'm gonna make these ones easier for you to see. So I'm gonna put 121. I'm gonna put 17. You know what? I'm gonna put 7 7. So they should be all odd numbers, and the answer should be Y, corresponding to 1777. So save my program and run it. And you can see largest odd number is 1777, which is correct. So I believe we got a successful program. So don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for listening. See you next time.